Well, hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gonzo, and welcome to Race 2 of our Monday night doubleheader. This is P1's coverage of Round 12 of the inaugural season of the SimMotion ISRA Open Wheel Series as we come to you tonight from the heart of stock car territory, Charlotte Motor Speedway, where the championship is tight as tight can be with only 3 races remain. We crowned a champion early tonight in the IndyCar Open Series. We still got a little ways to go here for the ISRA Open Wheel Series. We have tonight, next week, and then Indianapolis. Still a lot of racing to go. In fact, they made this race even longer. It was supposed to be 125 laps, and I think it got increased to 130 laps for tonight. So we will see how that turns out. But current conditions, weather's not going to be an issue, LGN. 76 degrees ambient, 76 degrees track temperature. Welcome to Charlotte, a track that you've had very many happy memories with.
Yeah, for sure. I remember the first Charlotte when I visited here in the IndyCar Oval Series. I have a penalty, and I went back, so they allow me, be careful with another Greg, so just don't mess with all the guys. So I finished third. And then next year, I finished first with the fuel saving behind of Nita Groot over there, and then Tony Showen, and then George helped me also too. So really happy to be here in Charlotte again. So we are basically, without count this, we are 2 to go. Clendy is the main guy to beat after dominant race last race, the short race we have so far, 47 minutes in the race that day. So it's gonna be interesting. The setup they allow to use these people is gonna be iRacing setup, so it's gonna be, they expect it to be a pack race, especially at night. We already seeing it's gonna be like a Dallara Dutch and iRacing, everybody in the same second, everything. So I hope the people could make some, again, always mention this. The people, but these people is really expert in everything. So I hope it's going to be a good show today here in Charlotte.
Well, there are the points on the screen. Clindy, your points leader, then Michael Goodman, Matt Wagner, Rigney, then Kirby. That is your top 5. And Murph not in the lineup tonight. He has daddy duty, which we all salute him for. Richie Hearn in 7th, Sehe Lewis Hayes in 8th, Gallas in 9th, and Craig Forsyth in 10th. Still, many positions, lots of racing to go before we decide a champion here at the ISRA for the SimMotion ISRA Open Wheel Series. And we're ready to line up after qualifications is done. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup here from Charlotte. On the pole with a speed of 2152 is Mason Mitchum. He's the only car in the 217 range. Clindy is right next to him, and that's exactly where he wants to be in order to kind of put the finishing touches, I say. Maybe lock down some of the final nails of the championship. Well, we don't want to jinx him, but he's got himself a good starting spot tonight. Starting second, Forsyth in 3rd. Coker, great start for him. He is in 2nd. Goodman trying to chase down Glendy. He's not too far away. He's in row 3 there with Wags. Dean Darthmall and Rick Rayvon in row 4. Kirby and Ramsey in row 5. Lovern and Hearn on row 6. Rigney and Hayes in row 7. Cook and Gallas in row 8. Cook making his first start in the series. Welcome. We'll get the camera on him. There he is in the Buzzin' Hornets livery. Reagan and Herrick, 4D cars, back on row 9. Omier and Irby in row 10. Omier making his first start of the series. Welcome him. You saw him on our Sunday night coverage of the Votive Indy Oval Series. And Pat Armstrong, stretch. He's really going to have to stretch it today. He is in 21st. Last car on the grid.
So once again, the really say thank you for this. The rule set for the pit road is gonna be turn 3, coming to 4 to the pit. So it's no more pitted in the middle of the 4 with all of this back. Especially today, we don't know yet. We're gonna expect it. We said it's gonna be a back race, but who knows? Could be not, could be yes. But with all the temperature, all the way, especially with iRacing setup, so could be yes.
And there you see, originally scheduled for 125 laps, moved up to 130. See possibly if we can take fuel conservation out of play. We'll see what happens. Before we go green, your P1 rule set of the race here is a 1.5 mile quad oval, 130 laps, 195 race miles, unlimited tires, 75% fuel, 1 fast repair with a pit road speed limit of 30 miles per hour. The IndyCar track record in real life here, Tony Stewart back in 98 with a speed of 220.498 miles per hour, still stands to this day. Getting ready to go green next time by Mason Mitchum, your pole sitter. Clindy second, Craig third, Coker in fourth, and Goodman in fifth. Coming down to the green flag, Mitchum's not going to waste any time, and he takes off. Green flag on the racetrack, and here we go. Whoa. Watching Rick Ray Vaughan get a big run on the high side. Dean Darth Maul slams the door on him in 3 and 4. Moving Rick up to 6 now. Mitchum running the IRL line. That is the Indy Racing line, which is right down there on that blue line down the backstretch. Shortest way around. Here comes Clindy. In order to get around, Clindy's got to get to the bottom. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be very little passing on the high side here unless a mistake is made. Richie Hearn, purple lap that time by 2:18.1.
It's going to be interesting to see how the people, when you use the inside line, and then they figure out, oh, the tires, and how it's gonna be the tires in turn in exit on the turn 3 or 4, sorry. So interesting to see that, because we said it's gonna be a pack race. We see a pack race, very close, everyone in the 1 second. So yeah, how's gonna be management the exit on turn 4 up there, because the wall is very close up there.
Battle for third. Rick Ray Vaughan up high. He has been using that high line through 1 and 2 to make a lot of his moves. And there he goes, getting a good run down the backstretch. But because of where the draft train is forming, he doesn't have aid of a car in front of him to poke a hole in the air. But he's going to get a big run off the high side through 3 and 4 and gets around Forsyth. Move Rick now up 5 spots to third as he goes on the outside of Clindy. And I just said it, you're not going to see a lot of passing on the outside, but he's making it happen.
I think Clindy is doing the fuel saving, and Ravens, he want to go to the front and just take the lead, and just maybe he expects it's going to be maybe a couple yellow flags to make it some 4 or 5 laps saving fuel over there, but he don't want to play slow today.
Mitchum stays low, protecting the inside. Again, that IRL line. Rick, a winner earlier this season at Michigan, and a thrilling Michigan finish. Well, this is a track that Rick's hero, Rick Mears, never raced at in an Indy car. But his nephew won a race here, Casey Mears. He won the Coke 600 in a stock car.
That's why I said, oh, Casey Mears There's a lot of last names really familiar for me. It's like, oh, this guy's okay.
I believe that's Roger Mears' son. That's Rick's brother. Roger has a couple of IndyCar starts at the 500, along with his brother. It is Mitchum, Ravon, Clindy, Forsyth, Richie Hearn, now up the 5th spot.
We are 9 laps and Richie Hearn on the exit on turn 4 for the high line, for the high side. He a little bit loose in the exit, so I think so he need to adjust the weight jacket over there because I really loose at the exit on the.
Back up front. Clindy giving a good run at Rick. Rick's going to try to get the draft pull out. Hearn around Forsyth, move Hearn up to 4th. Hearn, I don't think Hearn ever raced here in the Indy Racing League.
I'll let you know.
No, I don't. Those were the one year the race went opposite the U.S. 500. And the next year, I don't think, it was 97, 98, so I'm pretty sure he was in kart at the time. Oh, and here comes David Cook. He had a big run through 3 and 4. He's discovered the same line. I believe he's working with Rick Ravon, so they're going to be teammates. And he get a big run on the outside of Forsyth and move the Buzzin' Hornets up to 5th. But, Rick, we can get your teammates an IndyCar livery, though. If he needs one, we could get him one. Man, there's nothing worse than IndyCar Oval race than you see a Formula One livery out there. Come on, man. At least put him in the, see, he's got the gold charge, the Norton Spirit. Put him in the Norton Spirit. Put him in Uncle Bobby's car. O'Meara, big run on the high side, coming off of 3 and 4. Over Shane Coker. Shane having a little bit of a rough start. He's down 4 spots, but really staying in the draft is just part of the game here. As long as he can see the leaders and doesn't get caught up in anything, he will be fine. Side by side, Rick on the high side now through 3 and 4. Big bumps on the high side there, especially on the older version of this track. Newer version of this track's a little smoothed out. But this track might look wide to you, but in an IndyCar, this track, and explain to everybody at home, Lewis, how narrow this track is in an IndyCar.
It's really narrow. Actually, you think it's going to be like wide, but the wall is really strange. We're talking about virtual, so I don't know what is happening in the real life, but for us, when you turn, you think, oh, you're secure, whatever, and the wall is getting close, and it's very narrow, and when you're thinking about it when you think it 2 times, you hit the wall or you spin the car, so it's really dangerous, and especially when you go to the inside, like an IRL line you mentioned today. So that's be careful on that, especially in turn 4. Turn 2, again, I think so. This track is different. For my side, it's a different exit. It's the same thing, but it's different exit, especially in turn 2. And turn 4 is really, really close to the wall.
Let's take a ride with Clindy as we've been doing the last couple of circuits with him. 221, 222. He backs out of it as he's underneath O'Meara through 1 and 2. The turn 2 wall there will reach out and grab you and hold you. Then you go into 3 and 4. Here comes a bump. You're going to see right there. And then the track narrows down right here, like funnels. And the car also gets very light with worn tires. If you have too much weight jacker off of 4, you'll get loose.
Yeah, for sure. It's really, like I mentioned with Richie Hearn, he used the line close to the wall, and he exited really, really loose. He adjusts that, and now it's really clear in there. So it's pretty good at that. In chat, different thing. In chat, say Amy Cocker, I was huge fans of Casey Meir fans and NASCAR 41 Target car. So she's one of the fans of Casey Meir too.
Casey Mears, a couple of IndyCar starts under his belt as well as the win at the Coke 600 here at Charlotte on Memorial Day weekend.
I always remember the 41, the Juan Pablo Montoya. That's it. If I talk about NASCAR,
yep.
Juan Pablo Montoya 41. That's it. The only one I remember, 41.
Juan Montoya, two-time Indy 500 winning driver. 2000 and 2000, I think it was 15.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the longest waits between a first and second victory in Indy 500 history. That was a great race. Go back and watch that. Juan Montoya had to drive all the way back from 33rd on the grid. He didn't start 33rd, but on an early caution, he got ran into and his bumper pod got broken off, and he had to get that replaced during a pit stop, and that put him all the way back to 33rd on the grid, and he moved all the way back up through the field and won Indy 500, beating out Will Power. Right now watching via the Robbie Gordon cam over the left rear of Craig Forsyth's car. Let's see Craig running out of room with the car on the outside right there. We talked about it. It's starting to get very narrow. As Craig's teammate right in front of him, Richie Hearn, finished third place in the 96 Indy 500, and that is not a virtual race. That is the real race he finished third in. And won at Las Vegas in the last race ever for the turbocharged Indy Racing League cars. So he does have one win under his belt and holds the current track record at Chicagoland.
He's going to be for a while. I don't think IndyCar want to.
I don't even know if they'll go back and racing at that place, to be honest with you.
Actually, even close to come back to Charlotte, even close to come back to, I don't know, even ovals. They really have a, I don't want to say success, like a good stuff in roads, but they bring a lot of people. Huh?
Cook up 12 spots. Mohamed Omir up 12 spots. Those are your biggest gainers of the day, but Cook up with his teammate now in third spot, running down now. We're kind of 3 wide, a little bit off of 2. Down to the bottom.
I see on my screen, Brian Irby is in the pit, so really have some problem with the car. Hit the wall a couple times, loose in the track, so he decided to park the car.
Irby and the Skull Bandit. Of course, the Skull Bandit IndyCar never did run here for real, but the Skull Bandit stock car, of course, did. And we see Wags get around Coker. Wags deciding to go to the McLaren livery.
Yeah, pretty bad for Nogal Siegel. You talking about the Tony Kanaan yesterday?
Yeah.
And Tony Kanaan is one of the guys helped Nogal Siegel to going to the like a sparring coach, something like that.
Yeah.
The face of Tony Kanaan after the first incident on turn 2. Yeah, turn 2.
Yeah.
It was like oh my god. No, pretty good.
I believe that's
his fault, actually.
I believe the livery that Wags is on is what Felix Rosenquist drove at Indianapolis. If you remember, that was, I believe, the car that was involved in the incident that booted the tire outside of the track and into the parking lot right next to the suites in turn 2. And that was Kirkwood's car he hit and punted that wheel. And, of course, yeah, we're at Charlotte where one of those incidents did happen, unfortunately, and led to some safety improvements in these cars. But sometimes even the brute force of a crash tethers are not enough to hold those wheels on. And as you saw in Indianapolis with the brute force of that incident, that kicked the whole tire out into the parking lot there at where the cars are at, just outside of the Riley Children's Hospital suites in Turn 2 at Indianapolis, and smacked and destroyed some lady's brand new car, I think.
Yeah. After that, she went over there and he saw the car wreck, and she's like, oh, whatever. I think they didn't pay for the damage.
They replaced it, I thought.
It was like, are you ready? Oh, okay, so cool. So she's like, oh, it's okay. She's like, oh, I get surprised. Actually, she's surprised to be on cameras and have some stuff for. Oh my God. For the thing. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's a Maple Leaf match now, so they now 2-2 with San Jose.
Well, if you don't know, LGN is up in Canada, where hockey is important. Right now we're watching this. Oh, there's a crossover by Rick, and he goes to the bottom, and he has the preferred line going into 3 and 4. Oh, that's why. That is why Mason Mitchum coming to pit road.
Mitchum said he's coming to the pit lane, so why not Raybon stay? Oh, too slow to coming in, my friend. Too slow.
That was well. It's slow but conservative. He wants to make it way around. That's very a first stop. I mean, you got to take it nice and conservative. So he's coming down pit road for his first stop, scheduled stop. Still green flag. We have not gone under caution.
One more?
37 laps. Rick Ravon pit road as well. Oh, he missed his marks.
So,
ooh, Rick.
So about the. Yeah,
and Kevin and David Cook. So teammates coming down pit road.
So I said because it's slow, because first of all, Raybon blocked the entry to the pit.
Oh, David Cook gets missed his marks, so he has to back up all the way back to his stall. That's going to cost him a little bit, but this is his first IndyCar start in a while, so it's understandable. Rick down and away, but no aid of a teammate. It's going to help him this time. Clindy has a huge lead now, 1.6 seconds. As that whole time when he's back there racing, he was conserving fuel.
That's why we're talking about that. So he's saving fuel. That's the best option. Don't get in panic with lost track or lost position. So now he can go maybe 2 more laps easily to save it to the end.
As Amy Coker says, I'm still salty about Montoya.
The thing is, you need to exit with somebody to still save fuel. Richie Hertz coming out to pit, and Raybon is by himself. Getting over also too.
Let's watch how they come to pit road under full speed conditions. Watch this. Wow, good one. Very good. Now, he's got to get down to the speed limit at these marks, at these cones, and he does. Now he's on his pit road speed limit button. So long as he hits that button before getting to those cones, or long as he hits the button, he should not speed at all on pit road. So he's at 100% throttle in first gear going down to his box. He just needs to hit the marks. He does. On the marks. Now you see the car go up, pneumatic jacks underneath. A crew member sticks a hose in the car and engages compressed air, drops the jack. Crew members change the tires, single impact lug nuts. Takes about 5 seconds to change the tires. Takes about another 3 or 4 seconds to fill the tank. And he's down and away in about 8 seconds.
So, from top 7, this missing to coming in. So, it's going to come in pit party soon with 7 cars on the same time.
O'Meara coming off of pit road. Dean Darth Maul coming off of pit road. Lewis Hayes in the P1 car coming off pit road. Clindy, he is just a couple laps into his stint now, and his stop is done.
Oh, Kirby's life! Wow, nice save for Kirby. Nice save.
Trying to find Kirby.
And
there he is. Caution on the racetrack.
Maybe on the exit.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know too.
Jim Herrick.
In the exit?
Yeah, Alex, that's what race control is saying. Let's see. He's coming off of pit road. And we'll see what happens with Jim. Does he hit the button and light the back ends up and they just swing around on him? No, he's off the button now. He's just get a little too that loud pedal get too loud. Coming up to speed. Let's see what happens here.
Wow, I cannot find it.
I don't know what happened. I think it's said Jim Herrick, but I'm not sure where it happened.
Let's let me go to the pace car and wait for that moment when and I'll let you know in which. Oh, there is.
Odd. Okay, so this is really going to mix things up here. Wags is now coming off of pit road. Goodman was on pit road when the caution came out. He is now at the back of the field, but he is your leader. So everybody in front of him will get the wave around. Wagner is second. Rick Ravon, he is behind the pace car, so they will get the wave around. This is an IndyCar rule. Let me explain the rule. The leader always brings the field back to green, okay? So the leader of the race right now is Michael Goodman. And there he is, the number 28, red, white, and blue, Dallara. And when we get about 1 or 2 to go, they will race control will rave around the entire field, and then he can move up to the back end of the pace car. And then the pace car will pull off as we go green, and then he will have control of the field, and he can bring us back up the speed. But that is an IndyCar rule, and that prevents the situation, although not necessarily in the case of today, because we do have fast cars immediately behind the pace car. But there have been situations in the past in the history of IndyCar racing where you have maybe a slower car, a slower vehicle that's up there behind the pace car, and they bring the field back to green, and typically it doesn't ever really turn out very good. So Ravon bringing the field around to the back end of Wagner. Now behind Wagner, it's Hearn, Rigney, and Lewis Hayes. They are going to want to get around these two and get back on the lead lap.
So maybe it's a clinch, or maybe have a delayed yellow flag. I guessing because the only close incident was with Kirby. So when he spun in the entry to the entry to the pit, he spun, and he recovered the car, and then maybe 4 seconds later.
That was a very late yellow, yeah, and especially when I saw his car straightened out, I'm like, okay, it's not going to be a yellow, but a very delayed call for a yellow. So lights are out on the pace car. We're actually going to go green this time by. It is a Goodman, Wagner, Ravon, Kirby, O'Meara, Reagan, Clindy, Ramsey, Forsyth, Gallagher, your top 10. But there's a lot of cars, and they're bunching up on this restart, as it's not a very fast restart. But I think Rick's got to run on the outside, and he's got a couple of the guys that he needs to get around. He's got around, but it looks like Richie Hearn was kind of blocking a little bit, not necessarily blocking to be bad. He gets up in the wall. I think he just got caught up on the high side, nowhere to go, and now he's struggling to come up to speed.
Yeah, something happened with him. Maybe something in the real stuff But the car is going good for now. Just the momentum, basically.
And Wagner has gone to the lead as he got around Goodman. And I think Goodman was trying to lag back a little bit and not allow Wags to get a run, but Wags pulled the pass off. Now right behind him is top 5 in points. Just that is Rigney, excuse me. Actually, he is in the top 5 in points, Rigney. I almost said Justin Kirby. They have cars that look alike. And Kirby today showed a picture of an old white IR18 he had pre-aero screen, and I'm like, you should use it because I can tell the difference between the two of you. But that is Rigney right there. He is now on the lead lap, but at the very end of the lead lap now. As Rayvon goes back to the lead around Wagner, he wastes 0 time. So does Rayvon, Wagner, Goodman, Reagan, Clindy now, your top 5. But a lot of lap traffic involved now. Lindy has gotten around Goodman. He is now up to 3rd. Goodman 4th. O'Meara 5th. O'Meara in his debut race here in the series. Kirby in 6th. Chris Reagan 7th. Oh, Cook. Evasive maneuvers down the backstretch, and he's grabbing a little bit of the apron. It's going to disrupt the car. It's going to cause him to lose a little momentum.
Okay, so he tried to, kind of weird, he tried to avoid Hugo because he came too fast. I think so was too fast for him and just tried to avoid to the left and went to the apron. Pretty good hands on over there, good save on that.
We watch him get back head of steam, everything under control. So that caution, which probably should have been thrown, was thrown, kind of really threw this field for a little bit of a loop, but order has kind of been reset, especially with the way that Rick and Clindy were able, Rick and Clindy were able to get up through the field and back up to the front. If you enjoy P1's coverage of the SimMotion ISRA Open Wheel Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. SimMotion is a proud sponsor of the ISRA with over 50 combined years of experience in the community and industry. SimMotion is your one-stop strategy for everything you need for sim racing. Whether you still have your rookie stripes or you're a grizzled veteran looking for that next upgrade, check out their line of sim racing hardware, including top brands like Azatec, Buttkicker, Moses, Sim Magic, and more. Visit their online store today. All the socials and links you need are in the description. 61 of 130 here in the books. As we are moving pretty quickly, we're almost to the halfway point here. Only the one caution so far.
The ghost. Somebody hit something. I don't know, kind of weird that yellow. I still thinking about it. They, like you said, it's mentioned. He was mentioned to Jim, but nobody. I don't know. But well,
yeah. Log said Jim, but I don't want to blame Jim for anything. Obviously, nothing happened there, but the only thing that we could come up with is what you discovered with Justin Kirby. So we'll just chalk it up to that as something weird.
The first time, to be honest.
Riding with Goodman in 5th spot. Currently 2nd in the points. And he is chasing the guy he needs to pass. That is that car 2 up from him right there. That little green car, that teal car. That is Kyle Klindworth. Clindy, your points leader, 4 wins this season. Dominant victory last week at Iowa. Looking to start putting nails in the coffin, and a win here at Charlotte will do that, but we still have a long ways to go as we are at the halfway point. Next week we go to Chicagoland and Indianapolis to round out this first campaign for the open wheelers. And the admins have held very close to the vest what season 2 or what the next season might be. Are we going to go IndyCar season 2? Are we going to do something else? But we shall see. I'm rooting for IndyCars, Lewis. I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for IndyCars.
Because we have actually last season we have the truck series. Even with short tracks like EMS, we see a good feel over there. So I said, because I like it, I prefer IndyCar, but could be both options, could be a best one for all of these people. But for sure, the people like don't race with the truck series could be no be in the next season, but we don't know yet. So it's something secret to until past the Indy race, the Indy race of the last race of the season.
Riding with O'Meara in the Robbie Gordon position, and we hear him breathing the throttle just a little bit going into the corners.
Rick Raybon taking the no!
Oh, contact! And Rigney in the wall. That's going to bring out the caution. And you saw it right there from the point of view of Mohamed O'Meara.
Raybon says. Raybon says, "So sorry, I cannot go any lower over there."
And we'll watch this as Rigney gives them the bottom line. And wow, little bit of net code. We will let chat and race control make a ruling on that one. That was, I can't really make a call on that. But we are under caution, and I was just getting ready to talk about pit stops coming up. We were actually getting pretty close to pit stops. And here come all the leaders: Rayvon, Clindy, Wags, O'Meara, Goodman. Top 5 looking for their stalls, new tires, full tank of fuel. To take them, this should take them roughly to about the lap 100 mark. So we're looking at one more stop after this. And they could just do 2 groups of 30s if they want. If we go green. That's assumed if we go green.
Yeah, for sure. It's 40 laps. We count 40 laps last 16.
Yeah, Rayvon did 33. Clindy did 29. Wags did 24. O'Meara did 28. Goodman 26. Remember, we were in the middle of the pit cycle when that first caution came out. So that's why we're kind of all over the place. Now we're going to sync everybody up. But that first time, that first stint, It was a lot of people in the 40s. So 37 for Rick, who was kind of up at the front an awful lot. 41 for Clindy. 46 for Wags, who saved a ton of fuel. 42 for O'Meara. 44 for Goodman. A lot of 44s. So we know that with 60 to go, they could very easily go 30 and 30.
Exactly. Yes, that's what this is the best. Or you can wait it to. That's the problem. If you wait too much, you can lose time.
Well, that's I know your school of thought is stay out there as long as possible, because the bad luck will get you. That caution will come out at the wrong time for you, and I agree with your strategy there. But also, I don't disagree necessarily with the strategy of 30 and 30.
That's a good strategy. Actually, if you're driving now, I put my cell phone. I start to make it. I do 30-30 for sure.
I think 30 and 30 might be a shorter stop too, because if they're full now, then when they hit pit road, really, it's that they might just be adding a little bit of fuel to the tank and changing the tires, and they're probably looking at maybe a 6 or 7 second pit stop for that final stop. If we go under green, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
So I didn't say nothing about Raybon and Rigney incident. So unfortunately, Rigney left the space, and Rigney didn't move, but Raybon won the space. So unfortunately, it's like I know it's a net code 50, the other one incident race. So nothing to do that over there.
Coming to green flag, and that is not a double file restart we're expecting. Rick just wants the low side. Normally, these cars, just the way with the rules on restart for the iRacing service, they all go up against the wall to protect the right side. So when they go green before the start-finish line, they can pass on the right side before they get to the start-finish line, as long as the racetrack is green. And Rick just wanted to start down low. That is his right. It is Rick, it is Clindy, it is Wags, it is O'Meara, and Goodman, your top 5. Kirby, Reagan, Forsyth, Hugo, Gallas, and David Cook in 10th. $75 of $130. So we suspect, we could be wrong, that right around 25 laps from now, when people go, we get to right around lap 100, we suspect to see people start making the first of the final pit stops for this race.
It's gonna be interesting who's gonna come in first to go to the end, and just pray to don't have a yellow flag, because could be lose 1 lap.
Yep.
If he coming by himself.
Yep. Of course, Rick won at Michigan, and then June 7th, 2025, P1 will be back at Michigan. P1 is broadcasting, is excited to announce a brand new crown jewel event for the iRacing IndyCar community, a 600-kilometer, 186-lap battle at Michigan International Speedway on June 7th, 2025. An all-star invite-only roster of the IndyCar iRacing community, including many drivers you see in the lineup of this race tonight, will take the grid, competing for over $200 in prizes. Stay tuned for more details and entry applications. June 7th in Michigan will be a race to remember. You won't want to miss it. All right here on P1. Whoa, getting evasive in the back there with Chris Reagan.
I saw David Cook going close to Craig Forsyth in turn 2. Forsyth went to the wall, like a kind of keys on the wall. He saved the car, and now he's back to the track. So the car is going good for him for now.
Cook trying to get his way to the front. He's willing to go all the way to the blue line down to the bottom to get clean air on at least that left front wing plane. Now he goes down underneath Gallas, and he gets right to the attenuator of Goodman. Jeez. Well, there's the inside of David Cook's car. I can't want to call him Dean Cook there for a minute, but that's how close he is. He's so close. If he had a refueling probe extending from the back of the of Goodman's Dallara, he'll just be able to do not mid-flight refueling, but we're gonna go three wide.
No.
Hold your breath.
If you're a good man, I block him. I don't want to. If you're in the track, I don't want to somebody make a 3 wide with 48 to go. I do a really good job to be here. I really want to win the race. I actually contended for a championship. It's very close. So that's my strategy. I don't want you make a 3 wide because you think you're fast. Everybody fast, and we're stuck over here. This is traffic. I don't know what would make him more nervous, this race or the match with the overtime on the My God.
Ravon, your leader, Clindy, just staying right behind him, watching from the point of view of David Cook as he is using a little bit of brute force aggression to get his way to the front. He's down on, look how close he is on that blue line. You can't even see the blue line.
So
Hugo Gallas, a great effort. He is in 5th right now, up 11 spots. O'Meara up 16 spots.
I don't understand why Lobner, Hayes, Rigney, actually Henry, Richie Hurd.
Contact,
Rigney,
there it is! And we got a big one down the backstretch that's taking out one of our points leaders.
Oh, he's taking Mitchell too. Oh.
And Cook is getting into the back of Goodman.
Cook too. I don't know. If you go to the point on Cook invaded the line of the Goodman, but Goodman in the camera, you see Goodman going high. So I don't know. Hard to decide over there.
Dean Darth Maul almost gets through. I tell you what, one that did get through, and we will ride from his point of view, is Justin Kirby. And I think we want to go back a little bit further in time. We'll watch almost a lap before this happens. So we're in 3 and 4 now on Kirby. And watch how he gets through. But we'll watch the action that we're paying attention to are these right here. These two cars right here. The yellow car and the red, white, and blue car. That is Goodman and Cook. Yellow car is Cook. So here we go through the corner. Now, Goodman going to have dirty air in front of him. So that's going to cause him to probably wash up a little bit. But I think it's just two guys meeting in the middle of the racetrack going for the same piece. And Kirby threads the needles. So does, watch this, just all this other carnage floating around him. Forsyth manages to thread the needle as well. But afterwards, Cook was not happy with how that shaked out. And watch, he gives a little bit of extra how's about you to Goodman.
So Cook complained because the blocking, and Forza said, well, what are you supposed to do? We have all of these people, traffic over here. We have to do something. We cannot go through. So I said that it's a traffic. You have to be careful. You have to be patient over there. And about the Goodman and Cook is like, I think Cook went down very close to Goodman with all the right side, really, really with a lot of space for him. But again, that's my perspective. It's our perspective over here. Race control could be doing something. Okay, make a now decision over there.
Well, and the question is, okay, you want to get to the front, but when you get there with, 88 laps complete of a 130 lap race, where are you going when you get there? And I think I think that might be Craig's point. Is like, well, we're all just kind of trying to hang out and survive to get to the end there, and someone's like, well, I want to go forward. I feel fast, but when you get there, where are you going to go? Because you're not going to pull away from the field. That's just the way these cars are set up. You're not going to. Now, if this was an open setup race, that's different. But in a fixed setup race, there's very few times when conditions are like this where someone can just very simply, on skill alone, just get up there and drive off into the sunset and say, I'm just going to, separate and get myself a 5-second win. So, I think patience, especially when we're still with 50 to go, need to be mindful of that. Devin Ramsey is going to bring us to the restart this time by.
In the back race, everyone is faster. Let me tell you, everyone, especially in Michigan, Montana.
Yeah.
But
Rigney is one lap down. If he gets around Ramsey, he'll get back on the lead lap. Clindy is second. He stopped at lap 88. So Ramsey is going to gamble that he can make it the next 10 laps or so, make that final stop, or maybe even get closer to that 130 number. And a good jump by Ramsey. Rigney stopped on 71. He stayed out. He was kind of hoping to get that wave around. He was kind of hoping everyone would come to pit road, and Ramsey didn't. But his tires are the same age as Ramsey's, so we'll see if he can get back on the lead lap. Ramsey going to stay to hold the bottom line. Here comes Clindy with the brand spanking new tires, and O'Meara in third in his first start in the series. He's going to be right up there too. Rick Ray Vaughn in fourth. We got someone shouting him out in chat, and Wags in fifth. Lewis Clindy's right where he wants to be. And ahead of this race, or up at the front of this race, with just a couple more races to go in this championship, with his chief rival back in traffic now in 10th, already using his fast repair.
Yeah, so Clindy have the main option today for finally, I already said many times, he had to go in. He already threw to the garbage 3 chances to go in to the points leader for far away, and now is the time. Goodman is in 10th position now, still close, but like we said many times, when you have a fast repair and then you use it, it's a different click in your mind. You have to be careful. If you one more incident, you're gone. And Clindy have one more chance, basically, if you have the car to going and parking to the pit lane. But it's got a good chance for today. So he must to keep it over there and try to avoid any incident with somebody.
Well, Ramsey is able to hold off really the traffic at bay at the moment. And we are now 5 laps short of the lap 100 mark, 95 of 130. It is Ramsey, it is Ray Vaughn, it is Clindy, O'Meara, and Wags. Now back a little bit further, there's Hugo Gallas with a good run. Craig Forsyth in 7th. Justin Kirby in 8th. Lovern in 9th. And there is Goodman, second in the points in 10th.
So they can go to the end. They should be going to the end, or no?
No.
Maybe they should. They short for one or two laps. So all the people that came to the pit, Raven to the until Hayes.
That's
they
42.
Need to one more,
so they are right at the limit to make it without stopping. Ramsey needs to stop.
Yeah, for sure. But the other one can maybe one more yellow flag. He can go to the end. So basically, if we have a green flag to the end, it's a fuel race. Now I can be focused to the race. So Maple Leaf lose in penalties. So yeah, they lose in penalties. Anyways, this team coming with 7, 8 lose in the road. Anyways, yeah. So that's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be the safe fuel. And for now, I see Clendy, Raven. Weird for us. Very quiet over there. Relaxed. Just thinking about it to save a fuel, because Raven is not the guy to save a fuel. He wants just attack.
He wants to go, go, go. And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of round 12 of 14 of the Sim Motion ISRA Open Wheel Series, coming to you from Charlotte, where currently Devin Ramsey is your leader for Team 4D Racewear. As we are just now getting into 30 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race, which is next week at Chicagoland. And Ramsey pit road, scheduled stop. That turns the lead over to Rick Ravon, and Clendy is attacking, going low.
Makes sense just for Clendy. I don't want to be the lead. I just want to be on the back viewer, Raven. I don't want to burn fuel over there. But he need to understand at some point he need to attack him. And the moment that he leave the inside, but Rigney's coming.
Rigney coming to pit road. This would be a scheduled stop. He and Devin both came in about the same time.
But for Raven over there.
So now Ravon doesn't have anyone to draft off of, and it is now Ravon, Clendy, Wags. Each one of these guys have won a race this season. Goodman up to 8th.
So Goodman, to keep alive the champions, he needs to finish in top 3 or top 4, and Clendy don't win the race or something like that.
And now goes Clendy to the front. And now Rick back underneath him. We're going to go 3 wide down the backstretch, and this is going to get a little dicey here. I think Clendy might have got a little loose or lifted or something in the middle of the corner. Lost a lot of momentum. Here's Forsyth on the high side, looking for third. Clendy fades up a little bit, tries to close the door, but Craig just keeps it there. Now he goes down, lends a little draft to O'Meara, and pulls O'Meara forward. O'Meara now gives dirty air to Forsyth. Caution on the racetrack.
Ramsey, on the exit. Oh, no.
Oh, with his teammate.
Yeah, Henry came to... Oh, no. Misunderstanding over there. So Henry was in the middle of the track, and Ramsey didn't have a stand to choose, and he went to the high line.
Oof.
Mm.
And that's running into the back of your boss. Oops. Oops. Let's take this last caution here. Hopefully it's our last caution to get a real quick word in from Sim Motion, and we'll bring you back as we got 23 to go, and Wag stays out. Rayvon comes in, Clindy comes in, Omir comes in. We'll be right back for the conclusion of this pretty exciting race here at Charlotte.
With years of experience and a passion for customer service, Sim Motion is a trusted name for Sim Magic products. Whether you're just getting started or a seasoned pro, we have the gear to get you on the podium. At Sim Motion, we don't just sell gear, we fuel your passion for sim racing.
And we're back for the final 22 laps here at Charlotte. Sim Motion ISRA Open Wheel Series. 3 more rounds to go, including tonight, then Chicagoland, Indianapolis, and we crown a champion for our inaugural season. Wagner stayed out, and he's on the apron. He might be critical on fuel. He might be trying to gamble on this one. He is staying out. That is Richie Hearn coming to pit road to kind of get out of the leader's way. But it will put everybody that you see up top there. Wags, then Rayvon, the blue car, the blue and white car, then the teal car of Clindy. The purple and white with the yellow trim there of Omir. Forsyth in the baby blue and white car there. Then the black and baby blue gradient car there of Justin Kirby in 6th. Hugo Gall is there in the University of Texas Longhorn colors. I don't know if he knows that or not, but that's what it reminds me of, Hook 'em Horns. He's in 7th. Goodman in the red, white, and blue EcoBoost. Dallara, even though there's no Fords in IndyCar racing, he is in 8th. Gary Lovern in the Coke livery that kind of reminds me of a Coke sponsorship. There in 9th, and Pat Armstrong in 10th. That is your top 10. They are all on the lead lap. 11 cars actually on the lead lap, but the top 10 all directly together here to run this out here. And the final 20 laps, we're going to decide it here at Charlotte. We're going to see how Wags brings down this field to the restart. It's going to be Wags, going to be Rayvon, it's going to be Clindy, it's going to be Omir, and Forsyth through top 5. Each one of these drivers, many starts in these cars. No slouches up at the front. Here we go. Slow restart for Wags. He's going to take control of this one. And it's a slow restart, but it's his call. And we're green flag now with 20 to go, off in the 1. Rick's wasting no time. He goes high. Were those new tires going to pay off? He's going to try to slide in front of Wags. And I think those new tires are going to pay off. But here comes Clindy.
Oh, that's close. Oh. Wow. I thought he's going to collect it over there. He's going to have a contact. That was close for both of them. Oh, wow, again. That's maybe contact 0 for 3 times over there.
0x, 0x again, 0x again. And there's Goodman to the inside of Kirby trying to get another position. Clindy gets a nose out to the front, but the bottom line is still the fastest line around here. Wags trying to hold on. He's in a position where he can save fuel, but the tires aren't going to help him. Hugo Gala's purple lap, 2:18.2. Clindy goes to the bottom, and he's going to get a wheel underneath. And is he going to be able to hold it down there? And Rick gives him the room. Rick did not need to do that. That was very nice of Rick.
It's very nice for Rick, but it's not really nice for Clindy because he crossed 2 wheels, almost the 4th wheel under the line.
Is there a blue line rule that we don't know about?
I
don't know if they defined that. Did they define that in the pre-race meeting?
No, but when it's blue white line over there, without. Yeah, I don't know. I said what is the legal. I know the rules. The league is different for the iRacing, but I don't know.
15 to go. We are 2 by 2, 2 rows deep at the front. Gallas and Wagner, single file for 5th and 6th. Side by side in the 1, and Omir keeps wanting to think about taking it 3 wide. He's getting a good run off the exit of 2 down the backstretch, but as soon as he gets up to the leaders, it stalls out a little bit for him, and then on the high side through 3 and 4 is not the place you want to be. Here we come off the corner, and Rick is not giving Clindy a lot of room on the bottom of 3 and 4 off the exit of that corner.
So be prepared for the Raven move. So it's going to come in, and it's going to come in soon to try to remain the first position over there.
All the leaders right there together, right in the same picture. From 1st to 11th, all together. And we get a big one that happens up front. Those guys a little bit further on back are going to be big-time players here. 3 wide down the backstretch once again. Forsyth showing the most patience, just kind of riding, and behind Clindy. Not hiding, but riding. Goodman now up to 6th. And Clindy gets the position in a Brazilian slide right in front of Craig on Ray Vaughn. Oh, whoa. No net code on that one. Ray Vaughn at the line. So, if we continue like this for another 9 laps, Ray Vaughn knows he's going to get the edge at the line. He's going to get a big run down the backstretch. Going to pop out now, side by side in the 3 and 4. He's not giving Clindy any room at all on the bottom.
You know what? What I did before, I played with that, and I said, "Oh, in this lap I finished first. I crossed the line first. So basically, Raven crossed the line first. So the only thing he needs to do is
keep doing it. Keep doing it.
And, it's make sense because in this line, and this time, Clindy.
Well, Clindy got it that time. Yeah.
So Raven had to do the same thing he did 2 laps ago.
Top 7 now starting to pull away a little bit. 7 is Ravon, Clindy, Omir, Forsyth, Goodman, Wags, and Kirby. And I just don't think, I think Wagner can make it on fuel. I just don't think those tires are going to pay off for him up at the front. I think everyone else is going to eventually move away from him. Clindy on the bottom now, still guarding that blue line. 6 to go, coming to 5 to go. Lindy looking for win number 5 this season. Rayvon looking for win number 2 this season. Omir looking for his first win in his first start. Getting down to the blue line, defending. Rick not getting as much of a run off the backstretch as he has before. Lindy able to make a little bit better arc now as he comes up in the corner, has a little bit of breathing room, coming to 4 to go. Next race for us tomorrow, Legacy Atlanta, IndyCar Oval Series, Championship Tuesday. Join us, 7:15. Let's get to the end of this race. Coming to 3 to go. Clindy fades up a little bit. Here comes Rayvon back into the draft, pulling out now at the double dog legs. And right now, I tell you what, if he cannot get down, Forsyth is going to fill that hole, and he slams the door on Forsyth. I think Forsyth is going to fill the hole now. Forsyth knows that he has the move. He has the go. He needs to make his move. He's running out of time. Coming to 2 to go. And Goodman now up to 5th. Yeah, I saw it. Omir and Forsyth got really close.
I think the tire on Rayvon is gone. Or maybe he waited for the opportunity. I don't know. It's like it's no stay side by side. So let's see on the last lap coming now. Wow, that's kind of contact over there.
This time by white flag in the air, 1.5 miles here at Charlotte. Side by side in the 1. Omir's trying to go high, but Rick kind of fades up a little high, slams the door. Now he has to protect against Craig. Craig now, I think Craig's just going to fill that hole. Rick has no choice. He needs to stay high. Here comes Omir up top. We're going to bang wheels in 3 and 4. We're coming to the start-finish line. Who's going to win it? It is Rayvon by 0.012 of a second.
Well, I think he's just saving tires behind to Clendy, and just he did a good job to do that. So it really made the just he taste to Clendy, and he did a good job. The moment he touched Clendy on turn 3, the game is for Rayvon, because he lose a little bit momentum Clendy over there on the exit.
There it is, right there. That's your margin of victory. Actually, if I change the camera angle, boom, it'll clear up. There we go.
Goodman finished on 4th, so nice for him.
Let's get the final results in here, and then we'll start our interviews. Rayvon with the win, second win this season. Clindy with a critical finish here. That might be the one that pays the most dividends in this final run to the championship. He comes home second. Omir, in his first start in the league, comes home third. Goodman recovers from the incident on the backstretch with Cook. He comes home 4th. Craig Forsyth, a very typical Craig finish in 5th. Very quietly, but does a workman-like job. Does it. That's what he does. Kirby in 6th, Wagner 7th, Lovern 8th, Armstrong 9th, and Hugo Gallas, another top 10 in 10th. Hayes in 11th, Hearn in 12th, Ramsey 13th, Herrick 14th, Rigney 15th, Mitchum in 16th, Mall 17th, Cook 18th, Reagan 19th, Coker in 20th, and Brian Irby and the Skull Bandit in 21st.
So 16th spot for Mohamed Omir, the driver of the day.
Luis Gonzalez Nunez, driver of the day. just need to queue up some replays, and we'll get into this thing. Do that there. All right. Purple lap belongs to Richie Hearn in this one. All right, let's get into the interview room, shall we? And let's go ahead and bring up Mohammed. Here he is, first start. Mohammed, welcome to the ISRA, man. What a way to start off your first race on the podium. Talk about your experience, the other racers that you experienced for the first time. Some you've raced against a number of times already. And getting up to that third spot, you really didn't waste much time. You moved up 16 spots, so you must have felt pretty comfortable.
Thank you, Gary. When Indy Oval Fix ran this, I pretty much nailed how we would be able to run this and as track as a whole. And originally, I really wanted to start at the back because I didn't want to implicate any championship points. But once I got comfortable myself running with the other guys, I was able to make my way to the front and race cleanly up there.
Talk about your first experience with the ISRA. What'd you think of the other drivers and everything? And are you glad that you made the move to the series?
I'm so glad I made the move to the series. It's been so fun this entire night. I've been getting to leagues lately. I've been in votive, as you've seen recently, but I had to drop out of it because of my college classes. Then I moved to ISRA, and this is my first race. I've been having so much fun, Gary.
Well, it looks like it. And first start in the series, even though we are kind of towards the end of the season, still nothing like a podium in your first start. Congratulations. Typically, when we get you up here on the podium interview, you get a chance to shout out your friends and families and sponsors. I know you have a team and you got some sponsors you want to say hi to, so go right ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to shout out my teammates, Cheston Fortson, Daniel Durazo, and Rusty Plant. I was in their call earlier, and they were running the Indy Oval Fix Discord, the series, but they gave me some tips for this race, and I used those tips to be able to get to P3 and finish very well. So I'd like to shout them out, shout out the entire track team. We've been doing good. We all got the 4K recently, so I'm really happy with that and our performance lately.
Yeah, 4K is a pretty big feat, and if people listening don't know what 4K means, that's a 4K with iRating. That's kind of your combined points of how well you've done on all your races, and the higher that iRating is, the better, the more races you've been in, the better you have been. So a 4K is that's kind of getting into territory that's your upper 1%, 2% of all drivers. So congrats on that. But more importantly, congrats on getting the podium on your first start here in the ISRA. And we'll catch you at the next one when we go to Chicagoland next week.
Thank you very much, Gary. I'll be looking forward to that race.
You got it. Take care. Very happy, Muhammad Amir, in a third spot. And yeah, he's had a full. Yeah, he had a full week. Go ahead. Championship points?
Oh, yeah, the championship points at hoop date.
All right. Let's if I have those. Current points, and we'll also bring up the schedule to show everybody here before we get on out. Points are now updated, and it's Clindy extends his lead by 2. So speaking of Clindy, we'll bring him up now. And here he is. Clindy, congrats on the P2. I know you wanted the win. You did manage to extend your points lead just a little bit. You came in by 8. Now you're by 10. Every little bit helps. Good race. I think you got some more bonus points out of this thing as well, which is really the biggest deal between you and Goodman. You've more than doubled him on bonus points. And that seems to be paying off right now, the way that it's translating to your lead in the points championship. But let's talk about your race. Let's talk about this championship next.
Yeah, so the race was very interesting. It started as a fuel save. So, I started second, I think. And so I just chilled behind Mitchum, who had the pole. He put down an absolute burner of a lap. So Mason, if you're out there, teach me your Q secrets, please, Sensei. But yeah, I needed that bonus point for getting the pole, and I thought I had it up till 20 seconds before qualifying ended. And then I messed up my math a little bit on the fuel calc, so I put myself 1 lap or 2 laps short on the first stint, so I knew I was going to have to heavy save the rest of the race. And I got bailed out by that yellow, right? But it was still a save from that point. But I could just hit my number that I did the first time, and I was comfortable hitting that number, and so I did. And from there, I saw Rick had some trouble with some lapped cars, and those lapped cars really helped me save fuel. And so all together, I was just kind of biding my time, waiting until I knew I could full push. And then I pulled the Tanner Richards move out of my hat, and I'm like, I'm going to take the blue line from the leader. I'm not going to give it up. And I don't want to say it lost me the race, but Rick's been all around the block. He knows how to beat the blue line camper. So he just built up a run I could not defend. And if I had given him any room on the bottom, he was going to take it. And he pinched me down to where I knew he had a car on his outside, so I couldn't edge him out to the right to get a good entry into 3. And, we just touched wheels a little bit because I had to crank the wheel so hard into 3 and 4. And I just came up a little bit short. But, second place pays second most points. And I led some laps today, so I know Goodman did too, so that's why I didn't pull out any more than that. And I think he finished, 6th or 7th? So
4th.
He finished 4th? Jeez Louise.
I know.
I'm sure he's equally as frustrated that I continue to podium or, finish just ahead or just behind him. But this is really going to come down to these last 2 weeks. But I'm really looking forward to Chicagoland. That's my home track. I really hope it's not a fuel safe race, so I can go out and just stunt for my city and lead a bunch of laps there in Joliet and bring this rogue racing machine home on the top step of the podium for the first time in what feels like forever in ISRA, even though I just whipped them at Iowa.
Yeah, just missed win number 5 this season by the thinnest of margins. But shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. I know the fam's watching. Go ahead, shout them out. P2. I know you wanted that P1, but in the grand scheme of things for this championship, you're right where you need to be, and you extended your lead just a little bit, and every little bit helps in these championships. We've seen it before in the past.
Yeah, I think I have the tiebreaker because I'm pretty sure that's wins, and I don't believe Goodman can tie me even if he wins out. So, the goal today was to extend the championship lead, and even though I didn't do the best job doing that, I did do it. So I'm just going to do that again next week and make it very hard for Goodman to beat me at the finale. And all I really have to do is finish right behind him, right? That'll be my objective, not to win or not do anything, just to secure the chip by securing my points lead. So that's kind of my strategy for these next 2 weeks. So Chicago will be the last time I get to let the rough side hang and go full out. But I don't need P1 every race because I got P1 on the side of the car. I got P1 broadcasting me every week. I'm so happy that this channel exists and that you guys let me make track guides. Rick actually shouted me out in the waiting room. He said, "Hey man, I'm pretty impressed with those guides. You really seem like you know what you're doing." I think he thought I was a lot younger than I am. It's my youthful voice and demeanor, I think.
You're not exactly the 13-year-old prodigy we had last night, but
that kind of whipped my butt. So I just got to figure out how to beat the old guys, and maybe I'll be able to bring home this championship. So obviously, shout outs to my mom and dad who watch every race, and shout out to my cousin Craig Segerman at Segerman Farms in Minonk, Illinois. If you have any agribusiness needs or would like to purchase Wiffle hybrids or mature corn, let me know. I'll get you in touch with Craig. He can also deliver septic machinery to anywhere in the contiguous 48 states. So if you need a manufacturing trunk from Minonk, he can bring it to you. And last but not least, thank you so much to Shane Coker, who's in this race and had an unfortunate early end. He also put up a great qualifying time. He runs the Votive Racing League, which races Sunday nights. It's free to join. We'd love to have you. If you race the remainder of the season, you are still eligible for participation drawings at the end of the season. So come and beat me in that championship. I'm really working hard to catch Edson Santos. That guy's whipping my butt over there. So I think we're probably about the same age. So, I got to learn how to beat everybody, the young guys, the old guys, and the guys my age. But yeah, I think that's everybody. I got P1, got VRL, got Segerman Farms, got my mom. I didn't podium last night, but in the vote of Indy Derby, I had I don't know, 20 of my friends and family watching, and I'll just send them this and say, shout out to you all. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here so you can talk to the guy who's the fastest tonight, Rick Ravon.
All right, congratulations. Never short of anything to say, but we certainly appreciate you. Always fast on the mic and fast on the track. Kyle Clinworth, Clindy P2, and your points leader going into the next round, the penultimate round, as one of my peers likes to say all the time, at Chicagoland. A home game for Clindy. Let's bring up Rick Ravon. Here he is. Rick Ravon, another win. Slim win here, but a win's a win, my man. And people were shouting you out in chat. You had Nick Flock saying, I told Rick he would win. So apparently Nick called his shot a long time ago, getting the win. But, man, you were most impressive working your way up through traffic very quickly. And also, for whatever reason, on the high side, I said about it in the pre-race, the high side is a very tough place to pass here. You made your home on the high side and made it work on the high side. If you could share your secret, what was it? But let's talk about your race.
Okay, well, the secret is, oh, wait a minute. You almost got me. You almost got me.
I knew better.
Nick Fluke's a good friend of mine, and he told me yesterday, he's with Alpha One. Those guys, great guys. And, I said, I get the race tomorrow night. And he said, you're going to win. I said, I'm not so sure. I mean, Mark Murphy wasn't out here, but Clendelworth was here, and Goodman and Forsyth and Wagner and all these guys. It's not easy to win these races. You really got to step up your game. So we were just fortunate. We caught a yellow at the right time. I was the first one to pit, or first or second. And, the guys that were back there saving fuel, they went 78 laps farther than I was able to go. And so I was hoping that the yellow wouldn't come out, and it didn't come out. And then Wagner almost got caught. I think he said he ran out of fuel, or he almost ran out of fuel. He was the leader, and I got right behind him. And I'm like, I hope that I'm still on the lead lap. I didn't know, but everything worked out. To be up there battling with Kyle, Kyle is somebody who I have really the utmost respect for. He is so freaking good. And I've been doing this 30 years myself, so I got a few tricks up my sleeve. And but he puts those videos out. I don't know if people notice. I know some people do, but he puts videos out, like a little tutorial for the iRacing fixed series, fixed or open, whatever it is, the official races that they do.
IndyCar iRacing, the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series. Yep.
Yeah. Whatever it is. And I've caught a few of his videos, and I just shake my head and say, very impressive. This guy, I said, this kid knows what he's doing. I thought he was like 25, but he's a little older than that. He's in his 30s, but he's certainly not old. He's probably right around his prime right now. And, to come out ahead in a head-to-head battle with Clendelworth, it really says something. Fixed setups. That's why I do fixed setups, because if you do have a good night or you win a race, it's much more rewarding than, getting beat with somebody in an open setup that's got a faster car. It doesn't really mean anything. So to come out on top against somebody like Clendelworth, really, it means a lot. It really does. 2
wins this season. Still a couple more races to go. Tracks we know that your strength at, especially Indianapolis. But shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to for this big win, second win of the season here at Charlotte?
Nah, the heck with them. I don't know about them. No, let's see. Alpha One guys, thanks for your support. Really appreciate it. My wife obviously is in bed. I didn't wake her up this time.
I was about to say, did you wake her up this time?
No, I don't. Okay. I didn't wake her up this time because I was really quiet when I came across the line, and I looked down and I didn't know who was. I'm looking to my left and I still couldn't tell. With my VR on, I still couldn't tell. And then I saw my name was up there at 11 thousandths. And I was I stayed silent because I don't want to wake her up again, because she hit me over the head with a pan the last time. So, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, understand.
But shout out to her. I love you, sweetheart. My precious Alana. She's my number one. My children, Zoe and Mila. I love you guys. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Kyle, man. What a race. What a race. I tried, by the way, I tried to get around him outside. He'd beat me to the line. I try again. I beat him to the line. Then he'd beat me. Then I beat him. It was like, roll of dice. That could have gone either way. I was trying to hold it down there as low as I could without touching. With the VR, you kind of lean your head a little bit to the left.
You can, yep.
So you can, and you look straight. That's the trick with the VR. Otherwise, you really can't tell how close you are. And so I wanted to be as close to him as possible and get that momentum coming off the corner. And I mean, I just barely got to the line first, so it worked out. I'm just tickled to death and looking forward. I'm not just looking forward to the rest of the season because I'm no chance for a points championship because I joined whatever it was 5-6 races in, I forget. But next season, well, it's on the table, I guess. It's on the table. We're still competitive, so we'll be getting after it. Having a great time with these guys. I love this league. Oh, and I also want to say I'm sorry to Mike Wrigley because he left room on the inside and I went down here. We went into 3 and I couldn't get any closer to the line, but on the inside and we touched and I didn't mean it. Obviously, I wouldn't do something like that, especially not to Mike. He's the league owner.
Right.
Ran out loud, but there's really nothing I could do. I couldn't get any closer to the line on the inside, so I feel bad about that. So I'm sorry about that, Mike. And I guess that's about it. Thanks to you guys in the booth, of course. P1 a broadcast second to none, and thanks very much, man. Looking forward to the next one.
You got it, and it's always good to have you in the race and on the podium, and good to see you continuing to get those wins. We'll catch you at the next one when we go to Chicagoland next week, but win number 2 this season for Rocket Rick here in the ISRA.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Luis. I guess you're there.
Oh, man.
Oh, there you are.
Here are you.
Okay.
I'm here.
Did you have any questions for me?
No.
Nope.
I have nothing to say.
We pretty much covered everything. Okay.
Yeah, we've got all bases
actually,
covered.
You really answer all my questions. Thank you so much.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Oh, last but not least, thank you, Jesus, for dying on the cross for me. I love Jesus more than anything in the world. Thank you, Jesus. And now that's it. We're done.
Proper way to go out. Congrats, and we'll catch you at the next one, Rick.
See you next week. Thank you.
Take care.
Never at a loss or short for words, Rick Ravon. And win number 2 for this season for him. But a good race. We had one big one. And we had one caution that we never really quite understood where the heck it came from. That really jumbled the field up because it happened right in the middle of the first pit stint. But I mean, that was really it. A very, very clean race on a race that we thought, well, we knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be a pack race, but we thought it would be just a little bit more elbows out. And for the most part, everyone behaved themselves.
Yeah, it was a really, really it's a really controversial race for a couple of things already see and but it's the race. It's really it's not like a rules and stuff. We have a rules for sure, but no complaints actually. I thought it's Raven you're gonna complain about the move Clendy did for the lead, and nope, he's keep going. I think he thought it's a legal stuff, and he did a good job today. And he answered he's like said like I thought so. Like I said in middle of the race, he tasted every single pass for the line, and that's the best option when you have a side by side. What is the move you're gonna do in the last lap? And he did. He squeezed at some point to kick touch Clendy to lose the momentum Clendy to exit to the turn 4. And Rick Raven won the race. Nothing illegal. It's his last lap. We saw in the real life with, again, Sharp and Corniche or Hornets with, what else?
Buddy Rice and Vitor
Buddy
Mira
Rice or
and,
Eddie Cheever.
Yeah.
It's so many. It's a many they did. And this is the best option to try to beat the guy in side by side because you don't have any more options. So, good race today. Next one is going to be Chicagoland. I don't want to say this back race. Chicagoland is kind of big, look like big, but it's not big.
Yeah.
But it's kind of back race over there. So Clint is still alive. No, sorry. Goodman is still alive. He's still alive. So could be disaster for Clendy, could be have stunting for Clendy on that race and the race over, or maybe Goodman could be have some bad race and we can maybe proclaim half a champion to before Indianapolis. So
Let's
it's gonna
not
be a
let's
good
not
race.
jinx Clendy. Let's not jinx Clendy, but maybe
Yeah, but
maybe.
it's a chance you have to risk in every championship
Yeah.
because you're over here and you make count and say, oh, what happened with Goodman? Maybe Goodman have something wrong, and then it's happened to me and the Victor Series. I did that with the Henry Bennett, and it's like, okay, make it count. What happened if I pass it? What happened if it's something? He did the wrong thing. He did the good things every time. So yeah, it's something you make it nervous because you have a prize to the end, and that's make more nervous to the end. So it was a good race. So let's see what happened on Chicagoland.
And remember, the winner of this championship gets a set of pedals from Sim Motion. So that's a big deal. There is a schedule. It's been up on your screen for a while. Of course, we were at Charlotte, round 12, then round 13, Chicagoland, round 14. Round out the season here in 2 weeks at Indianapolis. That is it. That is all that is left of the schedule. Still no word on what we're doing next. I suspect we will hear something here soon from the admins. But until then, we still have 2 more races to go this season. Now, the point situation before we get on out of here is Clendy leading by 10. He is over Goodman. Goodman leads by 17 over Wagner. Wagner leads by 16 over Kirby. Kirby moves up to 4th. Rigney moves down to 5th. And Rigney down to 5th, but 2 points behind Kirby. 24 behind Rigney is Hearn. 5 behind Hearn is Lewis Hayes. And 6 behind in a tie for 8th is Gallas and Forsyth. And Dean Mall 9th, and Murphy was actually in the 10th spot with that tie for 8th. And he did not race today, but we shall see. He had daddy duty, so we all salute him for doing daddy duty. Trust me. It is a thankless job. And we'll catch him next week at Chicagoland, a track that he does really well at as well. That is your point situation after tonight with 2 more races to go. All right, let's get on out of here, give everyone back their Monday night so they can go find out what John Cena said, if John Cena said anything for his big heel turn over the weekend. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium from Charlotte is Rick Rayvon getting win number 2 this season. Clendy doing what he needs to do other than win. And there's nothing wrong with that because he did exactly what he needed to do short of winning is get that P2. Finishing ahead of Goodman, extending that points lead. He comes home 2nd. And Mohamed Omir, in his first start in the series, comes home 3rd. Join P1 again next week for round 13 of the inaugural season of the Sim Motion ISRA Open Wheel Series as the teams and drivers head to Chicagoland for the last big wild card race of the season. It's going to be a pack race. Anything could happen. Coverage begins around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. For the correct broadcast time in your area, find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race and you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of other P1's other iRacing programming, including tomorrow. It's Championship Tuesday. Now, the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series, we will crown a new season champion at Homestead. It's probably going to be Robert Malechka. But action starts at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it as we wrap up another exciting Indy Oval season right here on P1. The ISRA is sponsored by Sim Motion. With over 50 combined years of experience in the community and industry, Sim Motion is your one-stop strategy for everything you need for sim racing, whether you have your rookie stripes or you're a grizzled veteran. Looking for that next upgrade? Check out their line of sim racing hardware, including top brands like Azatec, Buttkicker, Moses, Sim Magic, and more. Visit their online store today, and they do have a physical store if you're in their neighborhood, so make sure to check out their website or follow one of their socials today to learn more. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. So for Luis Gonzalez Nunez, everyone here at P1, SimMotion, and the ISRA, I am Gary Gatto saying to all good night and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Chicagoland for the next race of the SimMotion ISRA Open Wheel Series. Good night.